Alola, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coat's on back order, and welcome back to our series of Pokemon TCG Online videos. Video number 70, which is kind of interesting in what it's going to fit with here in this special update. It is release day of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, the base set expansion for Pokemon TCG. The Pokemon Online game has been updated, these new cards are available, and what I like to do is, on release day for each of these new sets, I will drop a bunch of tokens, getting 10 random booster packs in the online game, and seeing what kind of a cool deck strategy idea can I put together with just what I'm given out of those 10 random booster packs online. Kind of like a pre-release in a way. I give myself more cards than you would get at an actual pre-release event, but I guess given the fact that I'd be going up against people with decks that are from all sorts of other expansions, giving myself an extra 3 packs, or technically an extra 6 packs based on the format of a pre-release, is not that big of a deal. You know, it's going to help me out a little bit more. Now, before we get into all that, I do want to mention that, as we've been doing in the past few videos, a viewer named TP Cubed some time ago has given me a number of code cards, or codes, to give out to viewers in these videos. I've been putting them in the descriptions. Actually, I started doing them in the comments and then putting them in the descriptions. This time, I'm going to do something a little bit more different with that. A little bit more different as opposed to slightly different. Different is different. Anyway, I have a code for a Kangaskhan EX box, and that's going to be the code given out in this video, but instead of putting it in a comment, instead of putting it in the description, it's going to go somewhere in the video. And I'll have a little pop-up. I'll mention when it's going to be up as well, so just listen for me talking, wait for that code to pop up, copy it onto a piece of paper, get into the game. If you're the first one to redeem it, you get yourself the Kangaskhan EX box, which includes, I don't even know, I'm assuming Kangaskhan EX, Mega Kangaskhan EX, and I don't know if they have created a spirit link for that Pokemon. In fact, we could check that out right now while I'm just rambling. Let's go into the collection, and I'm just going to do a quick little search in the trainer cards. Let's see what they have for Kangaskhan. Now, I don't own it, but there is no Spirit Link. Okay, now that we know that, what we're going to do is go into the shop and start putting in some tokens to get some cool booster packs. Another little change that I'm doing this time, since the theme decks for these the new expansion have all been revealed, or released early. We got the, what is that, Roaring Heat, Bright Tide, and Forest Shadow theme decks. I got one of each of these already because it's going to give me a number of trainer cards to work with, and if I can help it, I want to try to make my initial deck of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon out of just the trainer cards in the current expansion, but certain staples such as Versus Seeker, you know, I might have to drop some of the previous expansion cards into this custom deck, whatever I make today. So we'll see how things go, but let's not waste any more time. Let's go to the newest set of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon for TCG and grab 10 of these booster packs. I'm gonna spend a whopping 2,000 tokens, but if you look to the top of the screen, I've plenty got them. Let's try that again. I've got plenty of them. So let's go ahead and redeem 10 packs worth. We've got 10 packs. All right, let's go pop into the collection right now and get some pack opening hype for everybody out there, or from everybody out there, I should say. Let's go to our packs. I've got a bunch of other stuff I can open later up, but that's not the important stuff. We want to check out these packs right now. So as I prepare to open these up, feel free to throw some encouragement down below. Let me know, what do you expect me to get, or what do you hope I'm going to get out of these booster packs? And feel free to drop a like down below, because little known fact about YouTube, there's a new update out there that whatever likes you put on this video will actually transfer back in time to several hours previous and provide the luck of opening these booster packs for some better luck. I'm making all this up. I'm just delaying for no reason. Let's start popping open these packs and see what 11 cards we get, because we get 10 regular cards, plus there is a basic energy. Do they give us? They do. We get 6 and then 5. So we're starting with a Drowsy. Let me see what they... I don't know what most of these cards can do. I did look at some of them at the pre-release, but... Drowsy. Psychic Boom, 10 times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's not so bad. Headbutt can do 20. Grubbin can Vice Grip for 20. Meowth can Fury Swipes for no energy and do up to 30. Sandile can Gnaw for 20 and Crunch for 30, and if heads, or Foot Point if heads, discard an energy. Crabrawler has a Punch and Crab Hammer. Herdier is a good card to have. If you have a Lillipup and then evolve Herdier from hand, you can look for an item card from your discard pile. So we had a Poison Barb item. If the Pokemon's card is attached to it is active and is damaged by an opponent's attack, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. That is nice. Not even really like a coin flip or anything. It just poisons. Also got a Charge-a-Bug with Shocking Jaws for 20, which could paralyze. Electro Ball for 50. 2 rare cards. The first one, again, throw your likes down there. There's a thumb up. Actually, there's a thumb and a finger up right now on screen. Let's see what we get. Out of the way, Sandile. Parasect. That's in one of the theme decks. Fury Cutter could possibly do 130 if you flip 3 heads, and less damage based on the fewer heads you flip. And Mushroom Drain does 70 and heal 30 from Parasect. The last card, actually that's the reverse foil. The rare is... we've got ourselves our first Pokemon-GX in the first pack, everybody! Umbreon-GX, 200 HP. Strafe, you may switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. It does 30 damage. Shadow Bullet does 90. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And Dark Call GX, no damage. Discard 2 energy from your opponent's Pokemon. Does that mean 2 from each of them? It doesn't say active or bench. It doesn't say choose a Pokemon. I think that can discard 2 from every Pokemon that they have in play. Not bad. So that's our first GX. Let us open up another. Now I can click this. You know what? Just for the first little bit, I want to open another one from the screen because I like the animation of ripping the top open. But after this, we'll speed things up. I'll just open another pack from right within this window. So we get ourselves a Water Energy, Rowlet, a Cosmog, Dust Gathering draws a card, Litten, Bite, and Flare. I didn't look at Rowlet, Tackle and Leafage. Torkoal can Singe to cause a burn. Burn is now different, as somebody had mentioned in a previous video. If we get to see Burn, we'll talk about that in the video. But Body Slam can do 50 and could Paralyze. Young Goose can Tackle and Bite. Show me an Eevee. I want an Eevee. Double Colorless, always good to have. We have a Lima. Each player shuffles their hand in the deck and flips a coin. If heads, that player draws 6. If tails, they draw 3. We have a Dragonair, Dragon's Wish. During your next turn, you may attach any number of energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon. Cool, I like that. Tail Smack can do 60. Unfortunately, we have Rotom Dex. Currently, there's a bit of a game bug going on. Rotom Dex is not playable, so can't make use of our little buddy here, but what we could do if Rotom Dex was playable, after counting your prize cards, shuffle them into your deck, then take that many cards from the top of your deck and place them face down as your prize cards. So that's pretty interesting. That would work pretty good if you have a town map to see what the prizes are. If you want them in the deck, you can then play Rotom Dex, if it was playable. But let's see what the rare card is going to be. We get ourselves another Pokemon-GX, Lapras-GX, 190 HP. Collect for 1 water energy, can draw 3 cards, and Blizzard Burn for 160. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. And for 2 water and a colorless, Ice Beam GX, 100. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. I always say attack that causes paralysis with no drawback is really good. Like if there's no coin flip, no discarding. So Ice Beam GX is one of those attacks, but of course you can only use 1 GX attack per game. However, being a basic Lapras GX, I could make use of that in a deck. But let's just wait and see what else we get. I wonder, are you guaranteed to get a Pokemon GX in each of these online packs? I doubt it, because that would be a little bit overpowered. But we have a Grubbin again. We got a Spearow with the Peck Bugs attack, 10 damage, plus 30 more if the opponent's active Pokemon is Grass. Another Sandile. A Snubbull with Reckless Charge, 20 damage, and flip a coin if tails, 10 to itself. We have a Fearow with Devastating Wind. Your opponent shuffles their hand into the deck and draws 3 cards, and Slashing Strike does 60. Can't use it on the next turn. We got a basic switch card, very useful. Switching your active Pokemon with a bench Pokemon. Potion to heal 30 damage. Hypno with Meditate. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Does 20 normally. And Hypno Blast for 70 puts the opponent to sleep. You have a reverse foil Timer Ball. Flip 2 coins. For each head, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon. Reveal it and put it into your hand. And the rare card. What GX do you think it's going to be this time? It's got to be a GX. It doesn't. It's a Stoutland with 150 HP, Ferocious Bellow, 50 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks do 50 less damage. Hammer In does 120. So let us see what pack number 4 gives us in the online game. We already got 2 GXs, which is very nice to start with. So we got a Surskit, quick attack, does 10 plus 10 more if you flip heads. Fomantis is actually a really good card too. Search your deck with Synthesis for a Grass Energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. You can attach one from hand and attack with Synthesis, attach another one from the deck. It's going to help thin your deck out a little bit quicker, get to some better cards off your top draws, and it's going to speed up your energy acceleration. And it can do Leafage for 20. We have here a Marini, out of the way, Crab Roller. Poison Sting simply poisons the opponent. Alright. That works well with the evolution too, which we might see. Another Crab Brawler, we got a Growlithe with Takedown for 60, doing 20 to itself. Repel, what does this do? Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. I thought that's what that did. It's basically just like Lysandre in an item card, except it, think of it like Escape Rope only affecting the opponent, whereas Switch is like Escape Rope only affecting yourself. So Repel is a reverse Switch kind of a thing. We have Professor Kukui, draw 2 cards. During this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 20 more to your opponent's Pokemon. So a little bit added damage. We have a Corsola with Call for Family. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Could do Surf for 60. We have a Reverse Foil Psyduck. Confusion Wave confuses both active Pokemon, and the rare card is... What is... Oh, this is the one that some people wanted to get at a pre-release. Oranguru with the Instruct ability. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. Seems kind of minimal, but if you're going to be starting a turn with no cards in hand, this would really help you out. And Psychic, 60 plus, this does 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that is pack 4, I believe. Let's go for pack number 5. Let's see what luck holds for us. We have a basic Lillipup. We got Work Up. During your next turn, this Pokemon's attacks do 20 more to the opponent's Pokemon, and Bite does 20. Bound Sweet. Sweet Scent heals 30 from a Pokemon. Splash for 10. Litten. Have a Fearow. Paris does Scratch for 30. These are all pretty basic stuff. Trumbeak, 80 HP with Bullet Seed. Flip 4 coins, 20 damage for each heads. Have a nice basic energy retrieval here. Another Corsola, Reverse Foil, Alolan Persian. Can taunt for no energy. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, so basically like a Lysandre card. And Claw Ren, 30 plus. If the opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, it does 30 more. The rare card of this one is going to be a Beware. This came in one of the theme decks. Bear Hug does 40, and the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Superpower does 80. You may do 40 more damage, but if you do, this Pokemon hurts itself for 20. That is half the packs open. I'm really thinking I'm going to stick with that Lapras-GX as our first main kind of focus on the channel. And we got all these cards already. Growlithe, Surskit, Roggenrola, Smackdown 20 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is resistant to fighting, this does 50 more. So it's going to ignore the basic damage of 20, but it's going to do 50 to those fighting resistant Pokemon. Another Mareanie, another Crabrawler, an Ultra Ball, same as it has been before. There's a slight bit of different wording on this though. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Now, previous Ultra Ball has said, discard 2 cards. If you can't discard 2 cards, you can't play this card. Now, technically the way this works, I think, basically they say in Pokemon TCG events, do as much of the card as you can, right? So, where this Ultra Ball says, discard 2 cards from your hand, I wonder if you could play it with only 1 other card in hand and discard it. Now, you wouldn't gain the extra effect of, if you do discard 2, search for a Pokemon, but you could, if I'm right, which I kind of hope I'm not, because I like the way Ultra Ball works as it is, but if I'm right about that, you could just use the Ultra Ball to discard your hand down to nothing, and for example, use Oranguru's with their Instruct ability to draw back 3 cards. Anyway, enough rambling. With another double colorless, another Corsola, a Reverse Foil Wingull with Roost to heal 30 from this Pokemon. It can't retreat during your next turn. Rare card is a Golduck, which I like. It's in one of the theme decks. It has free retreat cost. Scratch does 20, Double Jet 60 times. Discard up to 2 water energy cards from your hand. This does 60 damage for each card you discarded in this way, so not super powerful. I guess it could be super powerful if you have 2 water in hand. You need a 3rd one attached to Golduck to be able to attack, but I like the free retreat cost for Golduck. So that was pack number... I don't know, but this is pack 7, so I guess that would have been 6. Way to do the math, Professor. A Crabrawler, Drowsy, a Pikipek, Rock Smash 10 plus, flip a coin if heads 10 more. Have another Alolan Meowth, Sandile, basic Pokeball, flip a coin if heads, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. We've got a Metapod with Iron Defense, flip a coin if heads, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn. Bug Bite can do 40. We've got a Granbull with Dark Clamp. The defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn, 30 damage, and Fight Back does 50 plus. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this does 80 more damage. You could do 130 with just 1 damage counter on Granbull. We've got 2 rare cards here. The first is a Reverse Foil Kangaskhan. Cross Cut, 30 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, this does 30 more. Hurricane Punch, 50 times. Flip 4 coins, 50 damage for each head. Now, Cross Cut is interesting how it's worded. For example, let's take a look at Frogadier from a previous set that says you can search with Water Duplicates attack for other Frogadier, put them on your bench. Technically, they would be Stage 1 Pokemon, which are called Evolution Pokemon, but they are not evolved from something. They are not considered basic. They are still considered an evolution card. I would think Kangaskhan would still do 60 to a Frogadier that is placed in play in that manner. I don't really know for sure. Anyway, rare card, a Butterfree. Good old critter, everybody. 130 HP. For 1 colorless energy, Psybolt does 30. Flip a coin. If heads, the opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And for 3 energy, Whirlwind does 80, and your opponent switches the active Pokemon with a benched Pokemon. And I got a Metapod too, and I really like the Metapod and Butterfree. Both take colorless energy, so they could really fit in any deck that you want. So pack number 8 being opened right now. Let's see what luck has in store for us here. Firo, Makuhita with a surprise strike of 20. Flip coin if heads, nothing. Strength does 40. Another Crab Brawler, Drowsy, Grubbin, a Golbat with Super Poison Breath. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. And Acrobatics, 10 plus, flip 2 coins, 20 more damage for each heads. We got ourselves another Timer Ball, an Energy Switch, move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another one. Reverse Foil Shelter, tackling for 10. And rare card is Incineroar. I also have these in the theme deck. Fire Fang does a decent 30 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. And the way burn now works, a burn is inflicted and always will do 20 damage. It previously was a coin flip, and a flip of tails you would take 20 damage. But the Fire Fang, or the burn now, causes 20, but between each turn, the owner of that Pokemon flips a coin, and if heads, the burn heals itself off. If tails, it remains. So that's the way burn now works. Basically, Fire Fang will do 50 on one turn. And Darkest Lariat, 100 times, flip 2 coins, 100 damage for each heads you flip. Not bad, Incineroar. This is pack number 9. Let's see, can we get another GX? Come on. Who hasn't hit the like button out there yet? Hit that button right now. Get us some good luck. We have a Stuffle, which can tackle for 30. We get a Dewpider, Bubble for 10. Flip a coin if heads, the opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. Another Lillipup, Dratini, Signs of Evolution for a Grass Energy. Search your deck for a Dratini, a Dragonair, and a Dragonite. Reveal them and put them into your hand. And Tail Smack for Lightning Energy does 10. Got another Wingull, got another Dragonair, Hypno, Alima, a Reverse Foil, double colorless, and rare card, a Crobat. 130 HP, triple poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 3 damage counters instead of 1 on that Pokemon between turns. Surprise Strike for 3 colorless does 60 plus. If this Pokemon was on the bench and became active during this turn, it does 60 more damage. You can do 120 if Crobat comes up. Switch card could help with that, or 2 Crobat in play. One could retreat for free, the other one could come up and do 120. Next turn, reverse that process. Final pack. Let's open that up and see what we have to work with. Come on, give us some good stuff. We got a Cosmog and a Alolan Rattata. Gnaw for 20 for no energy. Torkoal, Yungoos, Rowlet, another Timer Ball, a Poliwhirl, Double Slap, flip 2 coins, 30 damage for each heads, and Wave Splash can do 60. A Brione, which is also in the theme deck. Wave Splash can do 30, and Disarming Voice can do 50 and confuse the opponent. We have a Reverse Foil Paris that can... Look at the eyes on Paris. Like, why is it kind of reverse cross-eyed? Anyway, although if you think in Pokemon Go, when you turn Paris around, it's looking at you no matter where you're standing behind, you know, to the side, behind it, whatever. Anyway, enough about Paris. Let's get this last GX out of the way. Aww. Another Golduck, though, free retreat, which isn't the most terrible thing ever. So, all that being said, the packs are now all open. I'm going to pop away for a moment and choose which Pokemon to put into the deck, but I think you have an idea which one I'm going to lean towards, at least for our initial Day 1 coverage of the Sun and Moon expansion. So I'll be back in just one moment with the deck. Alright, I've put together what I think is probably going to be the best I can do for our release day, premier deck of Pokemon Sun and Moon. In fact, I'm calling the deck Sun and Moon Premier, because this is Day 1. I decided to go with mostly Water and Fire Pokemon, and some trainer cards to help them out. And as you'll see, first of all, I decided let's see if we can make use of Oranguru's Instruct. So, as I say, once during your turn, you can draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. I'm excited. I want to try these cards out. I'm going to be tongue-tied the entire time. Maybe. Hopefully I'll be able to pull through. Anyway, Instruct, so I can use that to make sure I always have 3 cards in hand. If I start the turn with more cards than 3, I can play out everything that I can possibly do, and I can then draw until I have 3. So it's almost like the Octillery in a way with Abyssal Hand, but it's a basic, therefore I can have this in play on the very first turn, and it's not drawing back as many cards to help me out. Octillery does get you 5 cards, but Instruct could help. Don't know if we're going to see Oranguru really fight that much, but Psychic could very well come in handy. It's kind of weird it has Psychic, yet it's a normal type card. Of course, Oranguru is a normal and Psychic type Pokemon. And basically, for free retreat cost, I thought I have 1 Alolan Rattata. I'll put that in the deck. Plus, it doesn't need any energy to do anything. It can gnaw for 20 for no energy. It can retreat for no energy. Plus, it has a resistance to Psychic, so that could help us out a little bit. Now, we decided we're going to go with Incineroar. We did get 1 out of the booster pack. I decided just to go with 1. instead of putting some from the theme decks, although I probably should have put at least, one more, but we'll go with what we have. So Fire Fang, as I said during the booster openings, it can do 30 and burn. You can do possibly 200 with Darkest Lariat if you flip 2 coins. We also got the Torracat. These are from the theme decks. I had none of these out of the boosters. Fury Swipes does 20 times. Flip 3 coins, 20 for each heads. And Flamethrower does 90. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. And Little Ol' Litten, Bite and Flare. Pretty basic, but it's a basic Pokemon, of course. Now let's go ahead and throw some Corsola in here to call for family, looking for 2 basic Pokemon and putting them on the bench. Surf could do 60, but essentially Corsola will be there just to get basics out. One of those basics being, you knew it, I had to go with this, Lapras-GX. As we saw in the booster opening, Collect could draw 3 cards. Blizzard Burn can do 160, can't attack with that next turn. Actually, no, can't attack whatsoever next turn. And then Ice Beam GX, 100 damage but causing paralysis, and that's the GX attack of this deck. Now, if I had more Lapras, I could put them in, but I did do just the one, but we'll go with that. And I've got 2 Psyduck with a Confusion Wave, basically just so I can evolve into Golduck with Free Retreat. Double Jet could do a decent 120 damage, though, if I have 2 Water Energy in hand to discard. That is going to be the collection of Pokemon. Let's scroll down to the energy cards and see. I'm going with just a nice basic rundown of 6 Fire, 6 Water. Hopefully that's going to be enough. And before we start talking about the trainer cards, down below my webcam, there's the code for this week's, what is it? I said the Kangaskhan EX box. Yes, the code is down below. Copy that on a piece of paper and feel free to pause this video, but make sure you come back afterwards. Go into Pokemon TCG Online and redeem that code to get yourself, I believe, Kangaskhan EX, Mega Kangaskhan EX, and I don't know what else you would get for that code, because of course, if I redeem it myself to find out, you guys won't have that. But it is there. First come, first served. Get that code. Get your cards. Come on back and watch as I talk about trainer cards for this deck. Now, I got 2 big Malasada. These came from theme decks. Heal 20 damage and remove a special condition from your active Pokemon. I've also got 2 energy retrievals, your basic energy retrieval, putting 2 basic energy cards from the discard pile into hand. I threw 4 nest balls in here, which is basically like half of the Call for Family attack of Corsola, but it's an item card which doesn't end your turn, of course. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. That could work for Lapras-GX. It is basic, plus any other basics I want to get in play, like Oranguru could be useful. If I have an evolution card in hand, I can get the basic in play using the nest ball. I'm also going to toss in a Pokeball. Why not? Might as well give it a shot. Flip a coin. If heads, search for any Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Now, I remember I was saying, there's some debate. Is Nest Ball going to replace Pokeball? And I completely forgot that Pokeball doesn't look for just basics. It looks for any Pokemon. So, no, Nest Ball is not a replacement for Pokeball whatsoever. But it serves its function well. Not flipping a coin, just getting a basic out. We've got 2 potions just to heal 30 damage from one of my Pokemon. I threw a couple of old Professor's Letters in here too, because getting some energy out of the deck is very useful. That does let you find 2 basic energy cards from within the deck, taking them into hand, and then shuffle up afterwards. I did toss the Repel in here, forcing the opponent to switch their Pokemon around. I also tossed a Switch in, so I can switch myself around as well. So some Pokemon maneuvering on the field. I've got 2 Timer Balls in here. Flipping 2 coins, and for each head, flipping or searching for an evolution Pokemon and putting it into your hand. I've also got 2 Ultra Balls. Again, like I say, play this card, discard 2 other cards from hand, and search your deck for any Pokemon. Just like Pokeball, except instead of flipping a coin and risking a fail, you have to discard 2 cards to ensure that you basically would have flipped heads if you're working with a Pokeball. And you just can't make a competitive deck without Versus Seekers. You know, I tossed a couple of those in here. Search your discard pile for any supporter card and put it back into your hand. I'd be interested to see if they re-release this with the current, layout of the cards, the way the trainer cards look now. But that is it for the items. Let's now talk about, well, there's one more item, but it's a tool. We'll talk about that in a moment. My favorite way to support your draw support, or give yourself draw support, support your support, whatever, Scorched Earth. Once during each player's turn, you can discard a fire or fighting energy from hand, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So that's going to help you speed things up and get through some of your other cards pretty quick. I've got 2 of those in the deck. I'm going to throw a couple of How in here. I mean, why not? Draw 3 cards. That could be something that could help us win the game, but we'll have to see how that goes. I was waiting to see how can I make a How pun, and that was the best I could come up with. I'm glad you waited for that one. I've got Alima in here too. 2 Alima. Each player shuffles their hand into the deck and flip a coin. On a heads, you draw 6. On a tails, you draw 3. I've got Lily in here. Draw cards until you have 6 in hand. If it's your first turn, draw until you have 8 in hand. Very useful. This would work well if you have something like not Versus Seeker, Trainer's Mail, or Random Receiver, and if she's the first one you happen to find on your first turn, if you don't have her in your opening hand. I've also got Professor Kukui, drawing 2 cards and dishing 20 more damage from your active Pokemon to the opponent's active Pokemon. And you just can't have a deck without Skyla. You know, she's my buddy. She's been with me all this time. Play Skyla, search for any trainer card in your deck. Could be a stadium card, could be an item card, could be another supporter, although you can't play that on the same turn you play Skyla, but you could set or use her to set yourself up for a good supporter for the next turn. So I've got 2 of her in the deck, and the last card in the deck is, I thought, we only got 1 tool, let's make use of it, the Poison Barb. So if it's attached to my active Pokemon and it takes damage from an attack, even if it's knocked out, this will poison the opposing Pokemon. Very cool. In an expanded deck, this would work pretty good with the Burbank City Gym. The moment your opponent hits your guy, it's going to take poison and then take 3 damage poison, or 3 damage poisons. 3 damage counters from the poison, thanks to the Burbank City Gym effect on the battlefield. So that is going to be our release day Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon TCG deck. I got 16 Pokemon, 32 trainers, and 12 energy. So, since this isn't really a cohesive, super well thought out strategy, I might not do so good in these matches, but we're going to give it our best shot and see if we can find any other opposing Pokemon, perhaps Pokémon-GX, in our battles. And let's get one of those battles started up right now. Alright, our first opponent using the Sun and Moon cards, Angaru, who has the advantage over us, colorless and water, which is good against our Incineroar. But hopefully we'll be able to get Lapras-GX in play and do some decent damage with the... I forgot the names of the attacks already. I know Ice Beam GX. What is the other one? Blizzard Brilliance or something? Hey, let's take that first turn. We managed to get ourselves... No, they flipped heads. They chose tails. Either way, see, I saw the Poplio coin, and I thought that was my coin. Well, here's what we're going to do. Starting with a Litten, we have How and an Ultra Ball. What do I want to go for? Now, we're going first, which could come into our favor, leading with a Slowpoke. Let's just see what How can give us. We got another Litten. There's the Lapras. I wanted to get a Corsola so I can start using the Call for Family to get some basics out of the deck, but I'll take Lapras. Now, what should I do here? I'm thinking I could use the Ultra Ball, discard a couple of cards, and maybe get Oranguru, but don't know if that's really going to help. I guess what I could do... I'll Ultra Ball and look for... Or I'll discard... I can get rid of the Fire Energy for now, because I can Energy Retrieval that back in. And let's get rid of a Golduck. I kind of like it for the free retreat, but... Okay, which Pokemon do I want to get? See, I'm thinking... I can go Oranguru. If I can use the Instruct ability properly, then I can go ahead and continuously draw more cards back. Let's go ahead and Energy Retrieval. Get back that Fire Energy. I'm going to give it to the active Litten, not necessarily because I intend to really do much damage with it, but I can now pay for its retreat cost, if necessary. Now, if I could get Lapras to the active spot with a Water Energy, that would be pretty good because I can collect and draw 3 cards. So you know what? Lapras-GX kind of doesn't make sense to have Oranguru with it. But we see a Poplio, so we're going to see some new GX cards. Oh, okay, Town Map, what do they have? Oranguru, 2 of those, Slowpoke, and some Water Energy. They can now Tail Lure and look for any Pokemon card they want, but first they play their own Sycamore, getting 7 new cards. What do we see? An Experience Share. Now that only works for basic cards, I believe, at basic energy, so double colorless will not be able to be moved onto the Poplio, which kind of helps us. Now, they're also going to have Reggie-Ice, which will use Resistance Blizzard and prevent damage done by Pokemon EX, but we ain't using no Pokemon EX. We got ourselves the GX. Okay, let us, I guess, evolve the active Litten into Torracat. Do I want to play Skyla right now? I kind of do, because she's so useful, but I kind of want to try the other cards more. Let's go for Ilima. What do we get? Okay, flip a coin. I don't mind if I flip a head or a tails. I got heads, though. I was going to say, because I do have the Instruct ability. So what do you think? Try the Pokeball? Let's try the Pokeball. Come on. It works. Alright, which Pokemon do I want to choose? I guess we might as well go with Incineroar, since we have a Torracat in play now. And let's go ahead and... Now, they did just get a Slow King using that Tail Lure. Will that be enough to take down Torracat? I don't know. How should I do this? Should I start powering up the Lapras-GX? I think I'm just going to go and put this energy on Torracat. Let's go ahead and Fury Swipes away. Alright, we get 20 damage off. That's at least something. Next turn, if necessary, I can evolve up into Incineroar and do the Darkest Lariat for possibly 100, maybe 200 if we're lucky. And the Slow King, it can move energy from my active Pokemon to a benched one. And Psych Up will do 80, which is not quite enough to take down our Torracat. But it does more damage on the following turn. And they get a Tails, excellent. I didn't want to see you move energy around. You probably would have moved it to, I would think, I don't know. All my guys have some pretty decent power to them. And double colorless added to the Regi-Ice. But again, okay, experience share is fine. Why are you making me shuffle my cards away? I wanted those! But the experience share does not help with the double colorless being attached to the Slowking. Actually, you know what? They can't attack this turn. Because they attach an energy to Regi-Ice. And Flamethrower, okay, I was going to say Flamethrower will get the knockout because of the damage that it already had, but nope, they're going to play, alright, that's whatever. Well, we can evolve another Litten up. So the wise thing to do here, let's go ahead and play this out to thin the deck a little bit. I'll grab one of each. Fire and a water. I've said this in, I think, the pre-release video. I like how there's so many different styles of basic energy at this point in the standard format. I mean, basic energy you can use from any expansion as it is, but let's... I kind of want to keep this energy for the Lapras, but I want to keep a fire energy in case I have to, or in case I get the Scorched Earth. Let's just put this cool new Sun and Moon energy onto Torracat. We'll do the Flamethrower for 90. Discard an energy from it. I guess I'll get rid of a fire. I can replace that. So you can go ahead and heal up with the Rough Seas, but you're not going to heal back enough to survive another Flamethrower. Dive Ball is being played. Looking for a water Pokemon from within the deck. It's not bad. They got a Primarina-GX. Alright, we're going to see another GX in play. I don't even know what this can do. Wait, no, I do. What are the attacks again? I want to remember this. Now, see, look, they're going to be using Versus Seekers. I guess I'm allowed to use mine, too, right? Alright, and they're shuffling away. Let's just look. Bubble Beat, Roaring Seas, and Grand Echo GX. I know that can actually heal all of the Pokemon on their side. We get ourselves a Lillian Rattata, Energy Retrieval, Lily, which could be useful. Try that Royal Flush. I dare you. That's what I thought. Actually, I had no clue it was going to happen. But they can Psych Up for 80. But we're still okay. So let's go ahead and... You know what? If you're going to be breaking out some classic cards like that, Skyla, you're coming in to help me out. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves the Scorched Earth. No more healing for you. Of course, they could have their own Rough Seas again. But down you go. Let's thin the deck by Nest Balling for... What do we want now? I guess a Psyduck. Once we get Golduck in play, we can go ahead and use that free retreat. We'll also drop down the Rattata. Let's now go for the Scorched Earth draw support, getting 2 more cards. Another Nest Ball, Timer Ball. Come on, give me 1 heads. That's all I needed. I'm grabbing Incineroar, everybody. It is joining the battlefield. I'm going to go ahead and Energy Retrieval. Bring back a couple of basic energy. 2 fire. Give me those energy, please. And I don't even really need to attach one to the Incineroar, because I can take this thing down with a Fire Fang. See, it's only got 60 damage. I'm going to do 30 with Fire Fang, but the burn will take it out. So who do I want to give this energy to? Let's give it to Lapras. And go for the Fire Fang. Look how burn looks. Watch this. Look at that burn mark it leaves on the card. I love that. And down it goes. It's weird. This still makes you flip the coin to see, do you cure the burn? Anyways. Okay, so Lily could help us out. But you know who would really help us out more, I would say, would be Skyla. I could even go for How and just draw more cards. Yeah, I thought they would have another Rough Seas. Of course, it is clever to do that. I don't have any more Scorched Earth in the deck, I don't think, though, when I did the search. And they're going to Sycamore their hand away. Now, we are about to lose Incineroar, unfortunately. Despite this is technically called Regi-Ice, it is a water-type Pokemon in the card game. So therefore, super effective damage on Incineroar is going to take us down. As they level ball for a Brione, evolving this Popplio on their bench. Really? Okay. What was that attack? Why did it do that? It's weird it showed like an effect rather than just doing the damage. Anyway, let's send up our Alolan Rattata, who, as I say, has free retreat cost. I can switch that around whenever necessary. That's what I was hoping to find. Nice water energy. Now, let's Nest Ball. We'll thin the deck a little bit. Who do I want to get? Do I have a Corsola in play yet? I do not. Let's put a Corsola down. Alright, so I can't use Scorched Earth anymore. I can bring Lapras-GX up to go for the Collect. It's going to get hit for 70, though. I'm going to go ahead and try some luck with Alima. Come on back, Alima. You knocked out my... Was it Brione or Popplio? I think it was a Popplio. You knocked him out way early on in the playthrough of Sun and Moon, or Moon on 3DS. You're going to help me now. We get a Heads. They get a whopping Tails. Not bad. Alright, so... who should I give this Poison Barb to? Let's place the Timer Ball down first. What can we get? Not a thing. Oh well. I suppose we could now retreat. Actually, you know what? The Rough Seas is going to help us too. I'm going to bring Lapras up. We're going to Poison Barb it. And I can collect. Draw 3 more cards. Problem with an attack like that, if you use it too much, you risk decking yourself out over time. But look at the healing options that we have right now. You can try to Ice Beam me if you like. It is not going to help us that, or not going to help you that much. So another level ball for another Brione. They can evolve both of their Popplio now. I wonder when we're going to get to see... Oh, Full Art Lily! Showing off your cool cards, are ya? That's alright, I do the same. And they're powering up the benched Primarina-GX. So once we do knock out this Regi-Ice, Primarina is going to be able to inherit one of those water, or the basic water energy from Regi-Ice, helping to power up its attacks even more. Resistance Blizzard doing a mere 70. As I say, we're not a Pokemon-GX, which is good. And we can now start healing. First of all, let's use your own Rough Seas against you. And we have an Ultra Ball. So what do I want to heal first? I'll use the potion, because I like to save the big Malasada to heal a special condition too if I can help it. Okay. I want to get another water energy. So I guess the best play right now, I'm going to play Alima once more. Let's shuffle once again. Flip me a Tails. I want to get a Tails just so I can make use of the Instinct. I'll take a Heads though, I suppose. We grab ourselves a Professor's Letter. And we got a Golduck too, so let's grab water energy. Since we have no more Scorched Earth to make use of, this is the better way to go. And we can evolve Psyduck into Golduck. I could Repel if I want to, but I kind of don't want to. I could just knock this thing out right now, which maybe is the best thing to do. I'm going to do 100 damage. Let's see what... Okay, I'm going to do this. I want to see what a GX attack looks like in this game. Let's enjoy this. Are you sure you want to use this attack? You can't use more than one GX attack in a game. Don't show me that again. I know how to play this game. It looks essentially the same. You simply flip over the GX thing on the side of the board. Alright then. And down goes your Resistance Blizzard, but you're going to be able to put an energy to the Primarina, of course. So it can do 120 with Roaring Seas, which will definitely hurt poor Lapras. But we do have a Repel. So if this Primarina comes up, it'll be really cool if I could knock out something else on the bench and then force a Repel into that Primarina-GX. Did they not move the energy? They could have moved the basic water, I believe. Versus Seeker, bring N back. Alright, go ahead. Shuffle me, or yeah, shuffle me down to 4 cards if you need to. Gonna play your other cards out, of course. That is the better way to do it. And a basic Primarina. I didn't mean to click your prizes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to snoop. And now play that end card. I'm going down to 4 cards. Let's see what I can play from hand. And I have Oranguru to help me out with a couple more cards if necessary. Another Repel. Or maybe that was the same one. Yeah, I only have one in the deck. So I can use Blizzard Burn for 160. I can attach this to do so, though. I can heal. I guess that's the thing to do. Let us play Lily, see what else we can get. I've got 16 cards left in the deck. A big Malasada could be handy. Let's just go ahead and Blizzard Burn. So we're going to knock out this Brione. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to attack on the next turn. I should have thought to put Pokemon Ranger in here. How? You can help me out, right? I don't have any way to switch Lapras-GX from the active spot. Brock's Grit. Shuffle 6 cards of basic energy or Pokemon back into the deck. What are we going to see? Alright. Let me just think. 250 HP for Primarina-GX. I can do a decent 120 with the Lapras, but I can't do that this turn. I gotta wait until the next turn. But I guess that's all the opponent could do. So we didn't get to see this battle to its completion, but we at least saw a lot of cool stuff in play. We saw what the GX attack does, we saw how you indicate that, and I guess that's that. There's not much more to be said about that battle, but it was pretty cool to say the least. So that is going to be a wrap for our coverage of the release day footage of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon in the Pokemon TCG Online. We got to see some cool new cards in play. We saw some Pokemon GX action as well. Too bad Primarina-GX didn't have a chance to fire off any of its attacks, but I guess the opponent just figured, let's get to the next match, and we'll just scrap this one for the time being. But we saw some of the cool new trainer cards in play, some cool use from Alima, all sorts of new awesome stuff. And we got to see our first Pokemon GX on the channel. We see what the Pokemon GX attack looks like when you use it in the online game. Essentially like the regular attack, but it flips the little icon at the side. But I guess that is going to be it. So, also, if you missed it earlier in the video, I did give out the code for the Kangaskhan EX collection box. You might have been trying to click around the video to see where is this code going to pop up. If you waited here till the end, you missed it. It happened earlier in the video. I kind of like the idea of doing that as a first come, first serve, because some people might be trying to click quickly to see where it's going to pop up at, but if you watch the entire video through, you have a better chance of finding it without the chance to miss it. But anyway, I guess what we're going to do now, this coming Sunday, which is February, I don't know, today's the 3rd, February 5th, I'll be doing another, I'm trying to set up some other Pokemon TCG Online matches with some viewers out there, some more viewer battles. I'm going to sort of combine that with our Pokemon coverage of Sun and Moon, or Pokemon TCG coverage of Sun and Moon, because in the past, I've shied away from using Pokemon EX whenever a new expansion comes out. I find the EXs to be a little bit too overpowered sometimes. There's not as much challenge to win when you use them, and I've said before, the more challenge there is in victory, the more thrill there is when you succeed. So I like a challenge. That being said, I like Pokemon GX. Now, what I like about them is a lot of them are evolved Pokemon, evolution cards that you have to evolve up into, which that's what Pokemon EX used to be back when they first came out. I'm not sure when they started the trend of having basic Pokemon as EXs, but we're back to the evolving thing for Pokemon GX, except for things like Lapras, and Tauros, I believe, is in the set as well. So I'll be trying to focus each video, each week, on a different Pokemon GX and building a strategy around them. I might revisit Lapras because there's more that can be done with this Pokemon. This was just our initial day one release coverage of whatever random cards I happen to get. But for the next video, I'm going to be setting up a proper deck, more strategically minded, and I want to do some viewer battles with you folks out there. So I'm going to be recording. I want to aim for 7 o'clock Atlantic time PM. Let's try that again. 7 o'clock PM Atlantic time, and setting up for some viewer battles. So what I'm going to probably do, what I did last time, I uploaded a short little video to the channel letting you know when I'm looking for some battles online. Try and get some comments back and forth with you folks out there and try to set up for some battles. I'd like to try, I'm stuttering all over my words. I'd like to try to set up for at least 3 battles and see which ones are the more impressive ones to show off on the channel for the following week. So if you're interested in some viewer battles using the new Pokemon Sun and Moon cards, stay tuned to the channel on Sunday evening, and you'll see the video go up when I'll be doing some viewer battles and looking for you folks out there. Now then, the question is, which Pokemon cards do you want to see me use from the new Sun and Moon expansion? As I say, I want to try to focus each week's video, each week's deck on a different Pokemon GX, and as you'll see, there's a number of Pokemon GX to choose from. I don't even know what they all do. Let's do a quick little rundown. We have Decidueye-GX, Espeon-GX. Look at the full arts and stuff. It's pretty cool. This must be a secret rare. Yeah, number 152 of 149. That's a secret rare Espeon right there. We also got Gumshoos-GX. Look, there's so many rainbow versions of them. That's kind of interesting. I've got Incineroar-GX, Lapras-GX, as we've just seen, Lunala-GX, of course, the legendaries, Lurantis-GX, Primarina-GX, Solgaleo-GX, Tauros-GX, and Umbreon-GX, which we do currently have in our collection here with good old Professor Chaz's online collection. So, which of these Pokemon GX would you like to see me focus a strategy on for the videos that I'll record on Sunday and we'll be posting on the channel next week? And just leave that in a comment down below. Also, just let me know which cards do you like the most from the new Sun and Moon expansion, just to get a little bit of a feedback and interaction with you guys back and forth there. And last thing, if you enjoyed the video, of course, feel free to leave a like down below. If you haven't already liked the video, to give me your support for the random booster pack openings, because the luck kind of dwindled near the end there. So I don't think everybody out there hit like. Not that it really matters, of course. If you enjoy the video, throw a like. If not, no big deal. But that is going to be it. So again, let me know which Pokemon GX you'd like to see me try to focus on. I'll do some online trades to try to get a nice selection of these Pokemon in particular. And I'll be using standard format for the videos. Now, I'm okay with everyone out there if you want to use an expanded deck, which is pretty cool, you know, get your expanded format in play. I'll still be sticking to standard, because standard does work in an expanded format as well. But if I can't get enough standard or expanded videos, or standard or an expanded format videos, I'll probably go ahead and allow some unlimited decks in here. But bear in mind, if you want to come at me with an unlimited deck, you're welcome to. It's just that it's less likely to be shown on the channel as opposed to a standard or expanded. I'll probably try to stick to the standard format a lot more often, because that's what I like to try to arrange for my deck. But I'd be okay with the expanded format as well if you guys want to bring those kind of decks. But with all that, I think I'm pretty much done all the rambling I wanted to do. So that is going to wrap up this week's video. I want to say thanks to everybody for watching, and I hope you're excited for these new Sun and Moon cards to be shown in battle, in play, as I am. I can't wait every single week choosing another Pokemon GX to try to formulate a neat strategy around, and it's going to be cool to see what happens. What is Divide GX? Put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Oh, okay. Just 10 damage. That's kind of neat. But that is that. Once again, thanks for watching today's episode. Professor Chaz is now signing off, and I'll catch you next time.